You open this video because you are worried. Maybe you're in your 40s, maybe you haven't saved enough. Being behind does not mean you're done. All you need is a different plan. And in this video, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. A 3-step catch-up plan that works from actually where you are. And stay till the end because the last part is what most people neglect or just skip it. And that might just make or break all of it. Let's begin. Here's the first thing people do when they realize they're behind on their retirement. They start investing. I mean, it makes sense. It feels like the right move at that time. But here's the thing. Pouring money into a bucket that is leaking just doesn't make any sense. Towards the end of the day, it's still gonna be empty. And this is why step 1 is not about investing. It's about actually realizing where your money actually goes. The simplest system I've ever seen, and I've tested a lot of them, is 2 accounts. One account is where all your income lands, and the other is where all your spending happens. When those 2 accounts are separate, something almost magical happens. You can see what's left at the end of the month. And that leftover money, it now has a very specific job in this order. You first clear the high interest debt and focus on the emergency fund. Then and only then you start investing consistently. I made a bunch of videos on this, on how to go about setting this up, exact account structure, even with $0. You can check out my channel homepage, but before you go there, there's something else. See, once you start plugging in all the leaks, there's another question that comes up. How much should I invest? And whether it's gonna be enough for my age. This is where math gets real, and yet it is hopeful. You see, compounding does work. People assume it doesn't, but it does. The only difference is that you need to put in more money because your time horizon has shrinked. So the lesson you learn over here is, first, you need to automate your investments. A monthly contribution is critical. And number 2, you need to keep increasing your contributions over time. Now, I made a bunch of videos how to pick the investment, how to manage all this. You can check it up down in the description below. But what if you don't have $1,000? This realization is exactly why we need to open the door to step number 3. See, you're 45, and what do you have right now? Almost 20 years of work ex. You may have switched jobs or you may have one job, but you have definitely added on some skills. If you don't believe me, take a pen and paper, start making a list. I know it may feel too much for you, but just start making a list and do this exercise with me here. Once you make these different skills, maybe it could be communication, it could be handyman, bookkeeping, it could be a bunch of different things. And then dump it to the AI and tell it, who would pay me $500 a month for these kind of skills or anything from that? Tell me what are the things that I could do. In fact, I made an AI prompt and a document for this. You can click in the description below and try to go through that exercise. And why are we doing this though? The fastest way to increase your retirement is to invest more per month. And what is the fastest way to do that is to go out of the scope of your 9-to-5 job. Okay, and that's what we are trying to do. These are the 3 steps that we talk. There is one more thing that if we don't do that, it kind of derails everything else. See, all of these systems that we talked about, everything takes few years to play out. So the most important thing right now is not your portfolio. It's actually you. Your mental clarity, your energy, your patience. Now, hear me out. This is the exact age where people start trading their health for hustle. So here's what I strongly recommend. 20 minutes, 3 times a week, non-negotiable movement. Respect your health. Don't ignore this. And number 2, the same applies for your mental health. Journaling and meditation. This will give you calmness and clarity. So that's it. These 3 steps. But remember, underneath, you need to protect the person who is doing it. You. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you need to keep going. Remember, as long as you're alive, you're not done. So be patient, keep at it, and I'll see you on the other side.